everybody, this is Pamela Sharp for my Thursday, happy Thursday, Facebook Live. I am so happy to be here and so blessed that it's Thursday. I had a great last week. I went to this awesome conference called Namaste, and I learned so much. I met so many wonderful female entrepreneurs whose passion it is to help other people. Hi, I don't know who this is that just showed up because again, this darn thing isn't showing me. So give me a minute so that I can get it on my Facebook on my computer so that at least I can see what's going on. But hey, here I am. Yay. All right, so this Facebook Live I'm going to do tonight is entitled, Is Your Personality Ruining Your Business and Your Life? And here are some number one top tips to stop it now, because so many times we do not understand the difference between personality and character. And Emerson had a great saying that says, "What you are shouts so loudly in my ears that I cannot hear what you say." And I always say, ask people, are you self-aware? Do you know what it is, what your weaknesses are and your strengths are? And if you don't want to take time to figure that out, or if you're too defensive to allow other people to help you to find out what personality traits and what your characteristics are that could be keeping you from being more successful in life and in business. And we all have them. Our traits, the different traits we have, I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes, are a combination of our habits, our skills, our knowledge, our desires, and our beliefs. And these traits come from two things, your personality and your character. And a lot of people think that personality and character are the same thing, but they are not the same thing. Personality and character are two different things. Your personality is more about your immediate, hey Sandra, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Your personality is more about is more transient. You can change your personality. People think your personality is stuck, but it's not. Your personality is your immediate things. This is what people see on the outside all the time. Whereas your character consists of your values, your immediate motivations, the things that are really intrinsic to you and what you do and why you do them. Hey, thanks for joining me. I was hoping I was going to get some more people, but obviously I don't know how to use Facebook Live so that it draws in other people, but I'm so glad you came. My topic is about personality versus your character, and how to bring those two together so that you can be more successful. The question I ask is, are you self-aware? Do you really understand what your strengths and weaknesses are? And if you don't know what your strengths and weaknesses are, basically that's a weakness that could be holding you back from being more successful. Hey Diane, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So if you don't know what your strengths and weaknesses are, these can be things that are holding you back from being more successful. And these character traits are either your character, which are the things that are important to you, or your personality, which is stuff that's on the outside, things that change, and the stuff that you let people see. A lot of times people don't know what your values are, what your true character is. And sometimes you don't either, because so many people will tell me that my character, what is so important to me is security. But still in all, they don't do what they need to do to make sure they have a great job, or to pay their bills, or to be in great relationships, or anything like that. Or they may say that I'm a caring, loving person. That's so important to me. Kindness is important. But then when you watch them and see how they interact with other people, they're not kind to people. They're not forgiving. If they see a person on the street asking for money, they have all types of excuses for not helping out other people. So your character says differently. If your character is really about kindness and compassion and empathy, then no matter why a person is out on the street or somebody needs help, you would help them because that would be intrinsic to you. That would be something that you would do. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Alice. Thank you guys so much for joining. I am Pamela Sharp. You guys know because most of you are my friends. I'm a motivational speaker, transformational coach. And tonight's topic is basically, is your personality ruining your life and your business? So what we're talking about is how people think that their character is one thing when it really is not in alignment with the personality that they show on the outside. And until you can get your personality and your character in alignment, you're going to always be living kind of mediocre, or as I say, in flux instead of in flow. Because when you have both your character and your personality in alignment, you live more in flow. So you treat people a certain way, you do things a certain way. Everybody who knows you knows without a doubt who you are and what you are about. So your let's say I said your personality is short term and it can be changed and stuff. So everybody sees the world based upon their own perspective, and these perspectives comes from your life. Everything you experience in your life gives you some type of perspective, and it's conditioned and it's there, and sometimes you can't change it if you don't know what it is. So again, are you self-aware? You must ask yourself this question, and that's just digging deep and saying, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. And another question that you can ask yourself is a question I ask young ladies this weekend is, who or what am I blaming for my issues and problems? What deep down inside is your issue or your problem that you're not facing, that you're not bring it to the forefront so that you can get it out. If it's lack of forgiving somebody, is it because somebody told you you weren't creative, or somebody told you weren't as pretty as your sister? Are you still holding your sister to that? It can be anything. Is it that you grew up with this person who was sick all the time and now you're afraid of sick people? Little things condition you for the rest of your life, and you need to look at those things and decide whether or not you want to continue living in that fear or that I don't want to call it all negative, because it's not all negative, but do you want to continue living with that thing that's keeping you from being 100% you? Because you have to get your character and your personality in alignment. So get a list and say, these are the things I value. These things are your character. For me, it's that I value love. I value forgiveness. I value friendship. I value growth. I value my spirituality. I guard it like no other. I value being grateful for life and people who love that type of thing. I value win-win situations where everybody wins. I value being around people who are growing, who are intelligent, who are productive, who have something to offer. So these are the things that you have to look at, and you have to determine what things are in alignment with you. What is it? So a situation happened to me, whereas a person told me that they're a caring person and they value other people and that they give the best customer service. And so this week I had a couple of customer service issues, and I had one with this person. And this person, customer service, and I told him I felt that the customer service was poor because of the way they were handling the situation. And so instead of the person looking at it from both sides of the situation, because as a business person or a professional person, period, we should be seeking to have a win-win situation at all times. So instead of trying to see it from my perspective, the person got defensive and it started lashing out, and it just, to me, it was very immature, and it did not have to go that far. Because as a business person, when somebody's paying you money, you should be trying to find out what the problem is. You shouldn't put the onus on the person to have to do anything extra when the person has a problem and they've paid you money. That's a personality thing right there, because your personality, which is also your ego, is saying that I'm right and this is the way I've always done it, and who are they to say that I'm wrong? That's personality. That's ego. That's not character. Your character says, I need to make this a win-win situation. I care about my customers. I care about people. What is going on to make this person upset? And put yourself in that person's situation. Another example would be if when you're fighting to be right. You know, I had a situation with a young lady where we were just talking about our life experiences, and my experience was totally different from her experience. And I didn't have no qualms about it. I was like, well, I didn't experience that. Well, why didn't you? And what about the facts? And look, why is it so important that I agree with you? You should be able to allow me to have my opinion and to respect the fact that I'm my own person and you're your person. That's your experience. Your experience. That's not my experience. So my character was that, yeah, I'm trusting of people. And I think that I don't think that every single person should be trusted, but you come and you're trusted until you show differently. Her experiences was different because whatever it was, she didn't trust people and she thought all people did such and such thing. So I could easily say that my character was that I trusted people and I give people a fair chance. Her character, even though she said that was her character, it's not. So you have to get your character and your personality in alignment so that you can move forward in your life and be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve, so that you can move from situations where you're always looking at people a certain way, or always thinking, using the word always, because that's one of the biggest things. If you use the word always a lot, then your personality, I can guarantee your personality and your character are not in alignment. If you are looking at others and blaming them for things in your life, or feeling like you've been mistreated all the time, or somebody said something or did something to you, your personality and your character probably are not in alignment. When you put others down, no matter what the reason, if you have to spend time putting somebody else down, your personality and your character aren't in alignment. Let's just be honest. We come here on this earth, we're all spiritual beings having this human experience. We all are looking for love. We all want to be loving, kind people. We all want to be known as a person who you can turn to and help, and they're strong and able. We all want that. Nobody wants other people to see them as the bitch, or the person who never does anything for anybody, or stingy, or, greedy, or any of those things. Because we have to look at our character and our personality and make sure they're in alignment. I mean, I had a situation where I had to really look at myself about some of my behaviors, because they weren't in alignment because of some things that happened to me when I was a child. We all suffer traumas as a child. A trauma could be, being verbally abused, emotionally abused, watching somebody be abused or killed or hurt or maimed, or somebody dying in front of you, or dying, watching a relative or person die. All of these are traumas. People don't understand that trauma is more than getting out in an accident and being hit on the head and stuff like that. Traumas affect you emotionally and mentally and spiritually, and sometimes you have to get those traumas out. So I just wanted to stress that point. I'm sorry. So once you as you try to get your personality and your character in alignment, I love to look at Stephen Covey, because Stephen Covey came up with some traits of highly successful people. And this book that Stephen Covey wrote way back when is still on the bestseller list, and still has great traits of people who have their basically your personality and your character in alignment. And one of the first things that a person who is in alignment would do when we're looking more at business, and some of these things you can apply, most of them you can apply to your personal life, is being proactive. Always be proactive about your life, about who you are, about what you want to do in life, about something as simple as, keeping your house the way you want it to be. If things are important to you, you should be proactive about those things that are important to you, and you should make sure that they're getting done. Another habit is to always try to begin with the end in mind. When I spoke this week, I spoke about having outcomes. Everything should have an objective or an outcome. And so if you have an objective for your life, if you have several goals and objectives for your life, you better be thinking about the end and not just thinking about what's happening today. That's, again, when I'm always saying you need to start acting as if you are the person who you want to be, acting as if you've already reached that point that you're supposed to be at, doing the damn thing, not sitting around waiting for somebody else, but beginning with the end in mind. You always keep what you're trying to do in front of you, and you visualize that end point. The third point is to put first things first. Most people don't understand that every day and every night you should have a schedule about the things that are important to you for you to get done that day. So get off your high horse and start doing them, and make you a list so that you can check it off. Put first things first. Like I tell my kids, hey, this party ain't gonna never go out of style. There's always gonna be a party. There's always gonna be a drink. There's always gonna be things that can take your attention away from what you need to be doing right now. So you need to put first things first. Get things done that need to get done. Hey, come on, mate, that's my son. Get those things done that need to be done, and stop BSing all the time. The fourth one is think win-win. When you think win-win, you're looking at a solution for everybody, not just yourself. And when you think win-win, everybody comes out a winner. You're not just looking out for yourself, you're looking out for the other person too. And when you're looking out for the other person, you basically are giving more. And the more you give, the more you get. You guys get that? You understand where I'm coming from on that? It's not going to hurt you to give. It never hurts you to give. The next one, number 5, is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Going back to my situation, I can even talk about, it's always a customer service issue. When you call for customer service and you're talking, and then the customer service rep starts talking before you finish, they're not seeking to understand what you're really saying, because they're assuming that they know. And it happens with us who are married or in relationships or have families. Shut up. Allow a person to finish all of their thoughts, and then make sure you understood where they're coming from before you speak up. In my situation earlier, you know what? Really, a customer is always coming from their point of view. And when you're at work, a lot of times your boss is coming from their point of view, what they need to get done. And instead of getting an attitude with people, you need to try to think to understand where they're coming from before you go off and get on the defensive and get upset about this, that, and another. Try to understand it from the other person's point of view. Sit in their shoes. And try to understand where they're coming from. You got that one? The 6th one would be to be synergistic. Try to make sure you collaborate with people instead of being on the defensive and fighting all the time. Try to collaborate. Try to be the person who is the bridge builder. The best bridge builder that we've experienced was President Obama. He tried to build bridges all the time. That man was the coolest guy on earth. I don't care what nobody says. I still love him, and I'll always love him because his coolness was cold. And people just didn't understand that. So you have to try to be a bridge builder. You're trying to be synergistic so that everything around you is in flow, not in flux. The last one is called sharpen the saw. And what that really means is you should be growing at all times. You should be spending time renewing yourself, whether through meditation and prayer, going to resort, going out, spending time in nature, just healing your soul and your mind and keeping your mind and your thoughts aligned. That will help you just as much as, going out and spending money you don't have. Actually, that's going to help you more. We all get a tendency sometimes, because I know I like to shop, and I'm sure a lot of other people do too. But look, the bottom line is that it's your job to try to make sure that your personality, which is your ego and the stuff that people see on the outside, is in alignment with your character, the things you value, the things that motivate you, the things that you really hold dear, the person who you believe that you truly are. You want them both to be in alignment so that when people see you, or when you put yourself out, or when you think about who you are, what you want, and why you want it, you know exactly where you're going. You have an end goal in mind, and everybody else knows that you have an end goal in mind. And when people leave your presence, they know what your character is. They know what type of person you are. I'm Pamela Sharp. I'm a business and life coach. And if you need any coaching on how to get your together, give me a call or DM me, Pamela Sharp, business and life coach. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Yay! Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Share. Sharing is caring.